Wow, we are learning a lot more details on FSD and exactly how the video footage is used to train FSD. You definitely want to hear this as a long-term investor in Tesla stock. Tesla stock today is down over 2% on the day. What's happening? What do you need to know? And what is all of the breaking news today? Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you like to make money and you want to make more of it and you want to reach financial freedom as quickly as possible, or just at the very least stay up to date with everything going on every single day in the markets and with Tesla stock. So the first thing I want to start with is from Walter Isaacson's biography of Elon Musk that says Tesla has access to 160 billion frames of video from its Tesla cars per day, which it uses to train its self-driving system. It goes on to say that video data from humans navigating in real-world situations is a lot harder than just making a text-generated chatbot or other forms of AI that you see out there today. Elon Musk responded and says managing that data is extremely difficult. We ignore, don't store it all, or delete almost all of it. The training videos that matter are rare ones, like weird and busy intersections, so less than 1% of all videos. Tesla is limited by AI training compute. NVIDIA plus Dojo fix it. Now, this is important to me as a long-term investor for this reason. Very few kind of clips of video are important, like Elon said. Now, if you're trying to develop hardware for and roll that out to all of your customers, and FSD is not a transferable service, well, you need to get a lot of people in that new hardware 4. They're already making hardware 5. So you have to get a lot of people into hardware 4. That is why Elon cut the price of FSD from $15,000 down to $12,000. FSD pricing is probably going to be cut again. As I said in one of the last videos I put out, says Tesla stock is going to make you rich. I highly recommend you guys watch it. We go over different scenarios, like if FSD was cut to $5,000, as Meet Kevin suggests Tesla do, and the take rate was 75%. What would that do to Tesla's bottom line? Or more likely, in my personal opinion, FSD cut to $10,000 and the take rate around 25%. What does that do for Tesla's bottom line compared to today's take rate of about 10% with $15,000 to $12,000 FSD? Let me just tell you right now, long story short, it does great things for Tesla's bottom line. It would make Tesla's share price in the $400 to $450 range today. So keep that in mind. But I think it's important to put that into context. 1% of all videos are actually important to train FSD. Now, out of that 1% of all videos, well, how many, what's the percent on hardware 4? It's in the 0.0001% range. It's very minuscule. So if you want to train FSD and take it to the next level, you need to get more FSD in level 4 vehicles. And since FSD is not transferable, you're probably going to see more price cuts to get more people into FSD in level 4 vehicles. There's about 400,000 owners of FSD out there on the roads today, and like 99% of them have it in hardware 3. So, I mean, you need to get a large chunk into hardware 4 to start training that. The government has officially listed the Model X as eligible for the $7,500 EV tax credit. Tesla has increased the price of the yoke for the Model S and the Model X to $1,000. It was previously $250. McDonald's has shared some photos of the Cyber Spoon on Xiaohongshu, a Chinese social media site with over 200 million monthly users. McDonald's also posted it on their WeChat account. Tesla posted about it on their Weibo account. They're going to be launching this spoon and only 50,000 units will be made. Elon Musk responded, he says, in that case, I will definitely have some. So hopefully the Cybertruck delivery event is just around the corner. Tesla Shanghai has produced its 2 millionth vehicle today, and it just rolled off the assembly line, setting a new milestone. And as you can see, here is a picture of the employees with the 2 millionth Tesla that just rolled off the line. Indonesia doesn't expect Tesla to invest in the country anytime soon after coordinating minister Luhut Panjaitan met with Elon Musk last month. This is actually great because we have expansions going on in Berlin, at Shanghai, at Lathrop, Giga Texas. They're building Giga Mexico, hopefully pretty soon. Showrooms everywhere, charging stations. There's a lot actually going on right now. We don't need another factory at this current moment, unless it was in India. In my personal opinion, that would be welcomed. But Indonesia doesn't make too much strategical sense as of right now. Tesla will be attending the Detroit Auto Show for the first time in 8 years next week. I've actually been to this. I was pretty young when I went to it, but I can't recall seeing any Teslas. I mean, 8 years. I probably went like 10 years ago. But as you can see right here, Tesla will be there, and I think this is really good publicity and good advertisement in really a demographic like Michigan that does not have that many Teslas out on the road, that's really home to GM and Ford. There's a big market in Michigan, 10 million individuals that don't even really have a concept of electric vehicles yet. Anyone I talk to just doesn't know about EVs. I asked this one girl that I know, I was like, something along the lines of, what's your favorite EV? She said, EV? Like, didn't even know what EV stood for. So that's just the overall kind of logic, right, of people in Michigan. There's not a lot of electric EVs out there. I see more Ford F-150 Lightnings than I see of Teslas. And Ford hardly sells them. Guess who was spotted at the Munich Auto Show? NIO's CEO checking in on the new Model 3 Highland on his phone. Looks pretty worried, if I were to say so myself. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. Ford sold almost 7,000 BEVs in August of 2023. The Ford Mustang Mach-E noted its best month so far this year. And as you can see, results last month and year to date, Ford sales 154,000, up 2%, and about 1.3 million, up 9.2%. Lincoln sales 6,500, up 3.1%, down 7%. All electric vehicles, the Ford Mach-E 5,033, up 61% year over year. Ford F-150 Lightning sold 1,018, down 57% year over year. Ford E-Transit 889, up 120% year over year. Total of 6,940, up 18% year over year, and a 4.5% share. This is great news. You want to see people being successful in electric vehicles. You don't want to see them too successful, because then they start to take market share away from Tesla. But ultimately, it's going to come down to who has the best product, who has the most functional product, and who has the most stylish product. And Tesla just is by far the leader in all of those categories. But a lot of America is just not accustomed to EV yet. Again, Michigan, other states, I'm sure, are not so familiar with electric vehicles. This expert believes Tesla could be a big winner in case of a UAW strike. This strike is obviously including Ford, General Motors, and Stellantis. Boomy says, quote, "There's a possibility of striking at all three at the same time. If that happens, we would see a serious bottleneck in the auto industry." Boomy adds that Tesla would be the winner if there's a big strike. The company would also be the winner if the automakers have to agree to huge pay increases because, of course, Tesla is not unionized. Boomy notes that one big question after this is all over: when and will the UAW start to take a crack at organizing Tesla again? As union membership has declined over the past several years, Madlin notes that although the desire for unions is sort of as high now as it's ever been, the law makes it very, very hard for workers to join unions and allows companies lots of tools for union busting. Now, this is kind of important to note, and I want to make sure I put this here in this video, that the pay increases that Ford, Stellantis, GM will have to give their employees. There's going to be a pay raise. Just how much, that's up for debate. That's going to mean less that these automakers can invest to compete with Tesla. That's why it's positive. Just them shutting down for a little while, well, that doesn't mean all too much because unlike Tesla, they sell to dealerships. If Tesla were to shut down, that would be a big problem. But there is so much inventory that is out there for dealerships, and I've talked to a couple dealerships, Stellantis dealerships, Ford and GM dealerships, on this specific issue, and they say they would be fine for a couple of months with a strike because they have been ordering a lot of backlog right now. So that's why Ford, for an example, these numbers that we just went over here in this video, might look better than what they will in the next couple of months because a lot of dealerships are already pre-ordering vehicles. They're getting their backlog so they don't run dry in the case of a strike. So I think a lot of the numbers that you are going to see are really inflated for this quarter, and the following quarter for a GM, a Ford, or a Stellantis, not going to be nearly as good. Tesla has also just created 3 more X accounts, one for Tesla Hong Kong, one for Tesla Singapore, and one for Tesla Macau. Year to date, Tesla is still installing far more chargers than other companies. Tesla all time has deployed 21,000 supercharger stations. Year to date, Tesla has installed 3,500 supercharger stations. Electrify America, year to date, has installed 247. EVgo has installed 542 year to date. ChargePoint has installed 618 year to date. Just nobody holds a candle to the Tesla supercharger network. The daily production capacity of the new Model 3 Highland will reach 1,200 units from September 11th. As Tesla Chan says, stable and impressive ramp up. This is pretty comparable to numbers that we have seen previously for the Model 3 as well. So things look very much on track to continue the ramp up in Giga Shanghai. The working down of inventory in the UK looks almost complete. There is only 16 Model 3s left in inventory. In July, you were over 200. So this is great. You don't want to see a bunch of inventory on Tesla's earnings. That would not be great. So Tesla has preemptively taken the steps to reduce inventory before this new refreshed Model 3 is even delivered in these countries. That just shows the superior IQ of Tesla's company compared to other legacy OEMs. Troy Teslike over here on Twitter is coming out with his estimates for Q3 delivery numbers from Tesla, and he estimates that the production was 422,243 units on August 29th. That's a 12% drop versus 479,700 in Q2. This would be related to the factory upgrades. Elon talked about this as he posts the link. You can listen in. Deliveries will be less affected because of existing inventory. Now, some of the numbers that we have seen, like the weekly insurance registration numbers out of China, have not really slowed down all too much. But we obviously have the month of September, which tends to be very strong, and then you tend to see a ramp up through the end of any given year. So Q4 is going to be better than Q3, especially if the Model 3 Highland gets launched in the US, as I'm hoping it does. But either way, we won't have the best estimates until we get more of September's data out the way. Despite all of this big news, Tesla's stock is still down about 2% at the time of recording this video. This is mainly because of the ISM data that came in this morning at 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. The services PMI came in at 54.5. You were expecting 52.5, so services running hotter than expectations. ISM services employment came in at 54.7. You were expecting 50.5, much higher than expectations. Economic optimism came in at 43.2. You were expecting 41.1, another beat there. ISM services business activity came in at 57.3. You were expecting 56.8. ISM services prices paid came in at 58.9. You were expecting 56.4. That's a bad one. You don't want to miss on prices paid, because obviously that is directly related to inflation, and that's exactly what happened. You missed. Well, you came in higher than expectations, I should say. ISM services new orders came in at 57.5. You were expecting 54. So one of the bigger beats here. This is not great for inflation and for the ultimate Fed pause and rate cuts that we're expecting in 2024. This data today is causing the 2-year Treasury to rise almost 6 basis points, and it's causing the 10-year Treasury to rise about 2.5 basis points. And if we look at the Fed rate monitor tool, the odds of a rate hike in September are now 8%. This is up from 6% yesterday, but by and large, just we're not going to get a rate hike in September. It's not likely at all. But the odds for a rate hike in November have jumped quite a bit. So yesterday, the odds of a rate hike were 38% in November. Today, the odds of a rate hike are 47%. It's a coin toss between a continued pause in November or a rate hike. The chance of a pause is 49.3%. So you're within 2% of either getting a pause or a rate hike. So any economic data that supports the Fed should raise rates, well, you're pretty soon going to start pricing that into the markets. Same thing for December. You were expecting a rate hike in December with a 36.6% chance. So it didn't look too likely yesterday, and now you're at 45.3%. So this data actually moved the odds of a rate hike quite a bit today. You are also starting to see an uninversion of the yield curve. Now, the 10-year and the 2-year bond yield curve has been inverted since really July of 2022. This has always led to a recession, but it's not the inversion that usually causes pain in the markets. It's the uninversion. And ever since back here on June 30th, you have slowly been uninverting. On June 30th, you were inverted 1.06%. Today, you're only inverted 0.67%. And it's starting to head back up again. So you've tended to get pretty bad days in the markets when this chart has actually started to steepen, and that's exactly what is happening today. If you look at the 10-year and the 3-month yield curve inversion as well, that is the same situation. Now, this did not invert until October of 2022. This tends to be a little bit more watched as far as the yield curve inversion, this tends to be a pretty bad one, right? When the 3 and the 10-year invert, there's a problem there. And again, you bottomed out on May 31st, 2023, inverted 1.88%. Today you are inverted 1.28%. And you can clearly see this upward kind of trend in the uninversion of this yield curve. This tends to be pretty negative for the markets. Tesla's option activity is showing just that, with a positive order value of 39%, pretty dang bearish for the day today. 698 orders totaling $154 million, a lower dollar amount today, but definitely more bearish than what we are used to. Tesla stock at the time of recording this video is down 2.28%. You're trading at $250.64. You did fall a lot lower than that. At one point today, you were around $244 per share, down over 4%. So you have seen quite the recovery since the kind of beginning of the trading day today. Now, you want to watch this level at 240. This 240 level is support. On the higher end, this 50-day moving average at $256.43 is resistance. We might just stay in this range until something bigger happens in the markets, or until we get some bigger news with Tesla and can either break out to the upside or break under 240. A break under 240 for whatever reason would send the stock likely around $226.98 per share. That is where the 100-day moving average is, and that is really the level in which we bounced back here in mid-August. So that's kind of where I would suspect we could go if we get bad economic data or some bad news with Tesla that we can't foreshadow as of right now. Like I said yesterday, the MACD, this yellow line, is now positive. That tends to be a pretty good leading indicator that the rally can continue. When you're negative on the MACD and go positive, it always leads to a big rally in Tesla, at least what we have seen in recent history, right? That doesn't tend to be the end of the rally once you go positive on the MACD. It tends to be just the start, if you will, of a rally. And the RSI is neutral at 52.15 after this really big move that we have seen from about 212 all the way to about 260 we just seen over the last couple of days. Considering that the RSI is neutral, that is pretty dang good for Tesla stock. So that is going to do it for this video. That is everything you need to know on Tesla as well as the broader markets. Overall, a pretty slow day as far as economic data and news. There's not too much that has actually come out today besides the ISM, and that's why the markets paid so much attention to it. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and source your comments, questions, or concerns down below in the comment section. Let me know what you think about all of this information. Are you bullish? Are you bearish? Are you hedging? Are you not? Let me know down below in the comment section. If you guys want to come trade with me live in real time, every time I make trades, hedge out the portfolio, go long, go super long, I let you know in the trading community. If you guys want to come join, link down below in the description of this video as well. Thank you for watching. My name is Michael Tyler, and I will see you in the next one.